Okay, are we cool yet? I think we're good. All right. Anyway, as I was saying, I don't care who AAA sends. I'm not paying my dues until they return my Ferrari. But yeah, how y'all doing? I'm Pabs, the Racing VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of prop design for the comic that I've been working on with my buddy Raph. It's been a hot minute until I was going to say until since I've been. You are aware your tongue is resting up. You're aware your tongue is resting on top of your mouth. Actually, I'm always aware of that. You are now blinking manually. I don't have eyes, homie. I get what you're trying to do here. It's kind of fun, but like I don't. You're breathing manually. Okay, that one got me. All right, that one was fair. Anyway, I've been out of the streaming game for just a couple of weeks, and that's because I've been getting something fancy called a gum graft. So if you've never heard of a gum graft before, what it is that they take so one of my teeth started trying to go AWOL, right? Like one of my front teeth was had a lot of root recession, right? Like a lot of gum recession. So what happened is that they told me if you don't do something about that, you're gonna lose that tooth. And I like my teeth. I don't want to lose any of them, in a fight or otherwise. So I says to them, all right, what do we do about it? So they says to me, we're going to take a little bit of the flesh from the top of your palate, and we're going to sew that onto where the recession is. So that way you'll get a nice bit of root coverage and you won't have to worry about the tooth falling out. And I said, that sounds metal. The inside of your bone smells like ranch Doritos. Do I have bones? I'm kind of made of rice. Well, I guess if I had bones, they'd smell like ranch Doritos. Anyway, yeah, they says to me I gotta get part of my palate glued to my gums. So I says okay, and then they says to me come in on June 20th so that we can do the surgery. And I says to them okay. And then June 20th rolls around. The people in my job says to me, hey, we got an important client call that day. Would you like us to reschedule? And I says to them, well, no, they didn't actually ask me to reschedule. It's more like they asked me to reschedule my thing. So I says to them, well, I like my job, so okay. So I says to the dentist, I gotta reschedule. And they says to me, well, the next one's not until 2024. And I says to them, well, I guess that's how life is sometimes. And we said, okay. But then they says to me, we'll put you on a cancel list. All right. If somebody cancels their appointment all of a sudden and you get a chance, we're going to call you up and see if you can get slotted in. And I says to them, okay. So June 20th comes and goes. I rock the client call, naturally. And I'm just kind of worried about the recession and everything, right? Not the economic recession. I'm always worried about that, but the gum recession. And then I get a call. So this is like Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. I want to say. So the periodontist office calls me and they says to me, "We got a sudden cancellation. Can you come in tomorrow for this surgery?" So what you need to bear in mind is that this surgery is not a petite thing, all right? So it's not a major surgery, right? It's not like one of those things where I'd have to be hospitalized. But it is one of those things where I would need to like change my diet. I would need to like not talk for a couple of days or like a week or so. And normally you would want a little bit of preparation. So one day isn't exactly a whole lot of notice, but I says to them, sure, why not? I go get the graft. It works out really good. My doctor was really skilled, thankfully. And since then, I just been taking it easy, healing up, and doing my best out there. Friday comes, and yesterday Friday comes, and I got the sutures out, and now I can. Well, I can't talk forever, but I can talk a lot longer now. Yeah, I'll be trying to keep this stream short so that I don't push my luck too much. But yeah, on the topic of what we'll be doing today, The reason I've been throwing all these revolvers in here is because we're going to be designing a laser pistol prop for the comic that I've been working on. So, this is, I think, the M1911. I think that's the one, and I think this is the one that was the most common during World War II for the Americans. So I kind of want to make a laser gun based on this. So I can pull up the other designs I've done for laser guns in this setting. Do I have Hawk's laser gun? Okay, now I have Hawk's entire kind of turnaround. This is like one of the laser guns in the setting. And except for very rare situations, the circular selection tool always freaked me out. The circular wand tool just feels like a very nothing burger of a tool. Like at that point, I feel like you might as well try and use the lasso tool unless you're trying to get a perfect circle, and even then, it's probably not the best, kind of tool to use that for. But yeah, what other fun things have been happening? Oh yeah. So as I've been recovering from the gum graft, I've had to do a couple of small changes to my diet. Some of these have been very interesting. I've learned so much about what you can and cannot blend. For example, rice. You can blend it, but maybe you shouldn't. Remington Rand? Oh, maybe that's just like a nonsense serial number. It's not supposed to mean anything. Let's see. All right, what are the other guns we got in here? Because I might want to take a couple look. I'll take a look at a couple of these to see if there's not one that's got like an interesting shape. I think the one that stood out to me the most was this Colt revolver one. Man, do you reckon that like the dudes in World War II were kind of like weird to each other about like which guns they got? Like, you know how in current like FPS games there are people who are like, oh, you got that gun. Yeah, I don't like using that one because such and such and such. I mean, obviously there were probably better guns to use. I remember World War II was like a hotbed of weapons which were just bad to use because, at the time they hadn't quite figured out industrial processes. Well, no, they had figured out some industrial processes, but like they were still a lot of the factories were still mainly powered by guys, right? Like putting the guns together, sometimes like the soldiering of everything, that was still done by like regular human dudes instead of by machines. So I find that kind of fascinating because it does also mean that like you still get like absurdly crappy guns. Like I don't know, I've never been a huge firearms guy myself. I'm guessing like the main thing that like makes a gun unfavorable to use is very likely like a matter of personal comfort. Like if you just dislike a way that a gun is designed, then maybe that's just not the one for you. But like this like particularly, I think the grease gun from this era, the 9mm machine gun, I remember is kind of infamous for how awful it is and for how like was it the grease gun? I don't remember too well. Hmm. Yeah, another thing about these laser guns is that they don't fire clips. They instead vent the heat build up within them one way or another. So that's all another fun thing that's going to be like the main challenge of this is one, how can I make this, the M1911A look more futuristic, and two, how can I make it like vent steam in a reasonable way? Because for the protagonist gun, there's like a very obvious big kind of like grate over the gun where it like just pumps out steam every now and again, or whenever she fires it. Would it make more sense for these to be revolvers or like modern military handguns? My instinct says go for like normal modern handguns. But the thing is, right, because like this is supposed to be like retro futuristic. I can't believe that's a phrase, by the way, like retro futuristic. That feels like that feels like a phrase out of like a Simpsons bit to show parodying like subcultures, right? But it is an actual thing, and it's actually one of the cooler aesthetics I've found. I'm a big fan of retrofuturism, especially like cassette futurism. Technology from like the 80s and everything being kind of used, especially stuff like telephones and what else? Telephones, cassette tapes, Polaroids, stuff like that. Hang on, what if... Okay, what if we made this thing a little bit more snub-nosed? How about that? Oh, okay, hang on. Okay, so I don't want to add like anything here because I feel like that would give the impression that it's going to vent from there. I am liking how this is turning out so far, though. I do feel like this kind of shape is something special. Let's see. I've always wondered about like the ergonomics of it, right? Is a revolver more comfortable to hold than a handgun? Like again, personal preference has got to be a huge factor for this, right? But I do wonder if there's like supposed to be like a more ergonomic grip. Yeah, that's something you don't think about a whole lot, right? Like if you're, especially since I think like obviously you're not supposed to be holding a handgun all the time, right? It's not like say a drawing tablet or like a mouse. The idea of like more ergonomic grips for guns rather than like functional ones feels a little weird. Okay, so Brain says try out like handguard right here. Although I am worried that's going to look a little bit too much like Hawk's gun. Although maybe making this one more kind of like snub nosed like this is actually the right move. Yeah, yeah, I think that was the right call. Okay, hang on. This is kind of interesting. I like doing this. I like where this one's going. Hmm. So Borderlands, right? The video game series. I remember there was like a gun manufacturer in that game, an in-game gun manufacturer called Tedior, and their whole thing was that their guns looked like cheap, crappy, disposable plastic things. because that's what they were. They like you reloaded TDR guns by literally throwing them away and then instantly 3D printing a new one in your hand. Maybe by I hear a dog barking outside. Weird thing is, it's been doing that for like a minute, so I don't think this apartment complex keeps an outside dog. But yeah, anyway, I brought up DDR because that's what this design reminds me of, is of that ethos of just like throw it away after you've finished using it. Okay, let's take away the M1911 for the time being. Okay, so this is what it would look like. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Today I got the chance to rewatch a movie that I haven't seen since I was like a teenager called Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. And I forgot how just honestly fun that movie is. Like, it's not a lighthearted. I mean, no. I guess it depends on your definition of lighthearted, right? Because like it actually deals with like it's actually a crime movie, right? It's like a mob movie about essentially this group of small time criminals who put together the money to go to a high stakes poker game. You know, they sent a friend of theirs who's a card shark to that poker game. The guy gets cheated into losing, and so now they owe a mob boss a ton of money. So the movie is about their different attempts to. Oh wait, hang on! I've just gotten a really good idea. And anyway, so hang on, Saber Guard. So yeah, the movie is. Oh dang it! This is all lightsaber crap. I don't care about Star Wars. I don't care about Star Wars. Let's see. Yeah, this might be good. So since the goons for the story, hang on, let me pull up the goon designs. So the goons for the story are supposed to, like, especially this first costume in particular, it's supposed to be based on Civil War reenactors. The one that I'm using for this storyline in particular is this one here, but it still has some of the same cues, in particular with how the sleeves and how that sash works. Yep. So I was thinking, since some of these guys are supposed to look like Civil War reenactors, why not give them a cavalry saber? Actually, that might filter out some of the Star Wars stuff. Cavalry saber handle. Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on. I want you guys to see how this looks like in the image results. Because it's a little bit goofy. So this is the normal image, right? This is how it looked in the image results. Bro, they compressed my saber handle. It's so over. Ooh, this one's kind of nice. At this point, I might as well try and make it a gun blade. Hang on. Get some Final Fantasy stuff going on in here. Yeah, this is the one from 8. I do like that the little lion pendant has like a tiny little square here. I do wonder if this is when that kind of design habit of having like little dangly things from weapons came about. Little bit weird that there are bullets in here. Like, I feel like that having bullets in here kind of senses from, oh, this is just a neat kind of like little trinket to, hey, that's a little, this is weirder now. I don't know. I guess they're probably also props, but mm. Oh, oh, this is beautiful. Check this out. Who made this one? Anthony Expert. A Nerf gun blade. this actually kind of goes hard. I'm not gonna lie. This kind of goes hard. Man, I wish more sword stuff was made by Nerf so that the modern youth could get a taste of historical European martial arts. You know, this is definitely my martial artist agenda talking, but I do wish that more martial arts were incorporated into the everyday life. This one's unique though. I don't remember this. This doesn't look like it's from any specific game. Anyway, I'm going to be taking the handle from this. Please and thank you. Let's get a look back at those cavalry sabers. Okay. All right. So let me try to. Well, first of all, hang on. Let me do something about the sword here. There we go. Expanded by 1 pixel. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to try and do something here. So I'm going to grab the M1911, paste it here. I'm going to grab the sword saber, I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to combine these two together, and then I'm going to try and overlay the saber handle over the M1911. God, the reason the reason I like working in like much bigger documents than this is because like otherwise it starts to get a. Hang on, hold that thought. I just had a hilarious idea. What if gun, but also inexplicably had a saber handle down here? Like you just load the saber handle into the gun like it's a magazine. You fire the gun and little shards of blade and pop out. Nothing beats having like a really dumb idea that makes you laugh. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. First of all, I'm gonna bend this a little bit so it's a little bit more like a grip. Let's see, transform, mesh transformation. Here we go. Nah, okay, we're gonna try and just do this. If we made the handle smaller. Hmm. Getting warmer, getting warmer. What happens if I delete the back part of the gun? I think now you could hear the dog barking. Oh yeah, no, it's going hard out there. Hang on, I'm gonna go close my window. Be right back. And we're back. I got a good peep at the dog while I was out there. So this looks a little bit too wimpy is the thing. So without like this back part of the gun, looks a little bit wimpy. But then maybe if I make this smaller. Further back? If I stretch this out, what happens? Thickening the handle seems to have helped a bit. I'm not sure. Actually, I'll be right back. Okay, that takes care of that. Sorry, I smelled something burning and I needed to go check it out, and it turned out to have been coming from across the hall. Everything's fine. Okay. Uh, right. The sword. Gun. Gun sword. Sword ray gun? I, if I dawdle around my words around how I should refer to this thing, I'll be here forever. Hang on. Historical reenactment. Sword. Alright, let's see here. Okay, this looks like a nice one. Ooh, this one's nice. I like this one. I'm trying to get myself options here, right? Especially with regards to the handle. Because, you know, the gun itself is one thing, but the holster might actually need to be a little bit specialized as well for this purpose. Especially if I'm planning to make them draw the guns like they would a sword and just have the sword at their hip, the quote unquote sword at their hip, right? What kind of holster would even hold a gun like that, though? Well, that's one way to figure it out, right? Just to. Hmm. Here's what let's do, actually. So first, let me take a look at some of these that I've ported over, right? Okay, so this one, this one, this one too. I like the filigree on the blade on this one. I like this little like sunburst pattern. Okay, that's the one that I have open. Let's close that. Why not? Let's keep this one too. I don't know. Cavalry sabers have never been a huge like of mine, right? I think out of all the swords that I've seen, I think probably my favorite are like Chinese swords, right? So Jian's, Dao's, things like that. Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, right? Big shiny pommel thing. And actually, hang on. US Army flintlock pistol. Hang on, is that going to be a thing? Hmm. Well, they're definitely on the rarer side of things. Hmm. But they are more sword shaped. You know, they're more saber shaped than the other ones. All right, let's do this then. We're going to introduce a third subject into this weapon chimera that we started to create. Yeah, let's just grab this. Oh, hell yeah, summon a rice piece. Let's do it. All right. Get in here, little guy. There we go. Right on. So, as I was saying, the actual grip itself. Oh, this is gonna be such a mess by the time we're finished. All right. And then I think we're gonna need to turn the gun head like a little bit away, like this. Sweet Jesus. How do I put this? It gives off a strong impression of like, you know, when you've seen like an animal, or like, have you ever seen like one of those like show pugs that have very obviously been like bred for like at least 6 different generations to look as quote unquote pug like as possible? It looks like one of those things. Like I feel like we need to reintroduce healthy gene pools into this thing's like lineage. Like when you squish it like this, it can't breathe properly. It is like a pug, and I still don't know where I'm gonna put the frickin' the vents for the. I don't know. How are you supposed to fix like weird nose pugs? I think like it is something to do with like the like gene pool, right? Like you need to like start crossbreeding them with like, you know, you either need to start breeding pugs with bigger noses with other pugs with bigger noses, or like, you know, you throw in a random, I don't know, like a borzoi or something to kind of offset the sheer nose amount. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. All right, so the cross handle is gonna go in like this. And I think, oh wait, hang on. Okay, so what if we make the cross handle also where the steam vents? So it'll have like a small grip. Well, no, you really shouldn't grip this part, but like a small like part here where it'll spit out steam. Or maybe I should turn it into some kind of grill. Yeah, yeah, okay. And we can give it that kind of K-bar grip. I don't know, is that too much detail? That might be too much detail. I like that you can barely. I think only in the actual head of it will you be able to see the 1911's influences. Unless, hang on, unless we go back to a kind of like more metallic look for this part. And then right here on the pommel, right around here, we introduce a proper grip for it. Yeah, okay, I kind of like how that looks. Okay. And we can add a second screw right here. Is there such a thing as a vertical holster for a gun? Serious question. Wait, no, that all holsters would have to be vertical, right? Like, if you see the police movies, right, they always have those dudes who have those holsters that go across their chest like this, and the gun is right here. Okay, there has to be such a thing as like a vertical holster. Of course, I'm thinking at kind of the waist level rather than the chest level. It could be at the chest level, actually. I don't see why they shouldn't have a chest holster. Hmm. No, no. That would draw a little bit too much attention. No, I mean, bruh, does this... No, no, hang on, hang on, hang on. Boost of visibility on this. Does this seriously have like a serial number or like a mark of who made it? I love when older guns like this, like really old guns, have like distinguishing marks or serial numbers. Yo, check it out. This gun has a serial number of 3. Still, I can't help but feel that we've really lost sight of everything here. What if... Slight divot here. Meh. Not super feeling it, unfortunately. However, I do like the idea of making the grip a little bit narrower up here. This part here is going to have the crosshairs, by the way. Okay. No, wait, it wouldn't have... Alright, so it definitely needs one of those little, like, ray gun bulbs. I don't know what else to call them. Ray gun bulbs over here. It just feels very poorly balanced if it's got all this buildup and then it's just got a dinky little thing out here. Although maybe that wouldn't be such a bad design choice. Come on. Draw straight. I can use shift. I can use shift. How's that looking? Exceptionally weird. Where did I put the gun? Oh, this is gonna take forever. Hang on. It was right around here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, no, the balance on this thing looks way off. Okay, there we go. Okay, maybe, hang on, let's bring back the reference. All right, let's say that we do have the full head here. Right? Okay, this is going somewhere. This has potential. Let's keep cooking a little bit, right? For the time being, let's get rid of the grip here. I don't see it adding much to the overall design. I also don't really like the mesh pattern, how that looks here. Ooh, okay. Okay, blunderbuss? Blunderbuss kind of thing. No, but that would make the... I'm kind of tempted to go for the blunderbuss idea because that would look kind of interesting. And I think that would trump anything that, like, that would relate to practicality. But I am trying to think of, right, so if we go for this kind of like trumpet design, this blunderbuss design, and then have the ray gun out here, maybe a little bit longer, just a tiny bit longer. Where's the original M1911A reference? How big, how long is that gun? Not very, right? You know, it's just a pistol, right? So then, okay, there we go. Maybe maybe this kind of continues along that trend. No, it needs to cut off like this in order for it to be effective, because that way it kind of continues that. I mean, the thing is, right? It's going to look a little bit dumb in the holster no matter what, because it's going to look a little bit too short, right? So if you have a holster for this thing, maybe, you know, I'm trying to not get bogged down on the details. It would probably look a lot like this. That just looks uncomfortable. The ergonomics of ray guns is something that I never have. Is something that I, you know, as a child, you want to do a lot of things, right? You want to be a doctor, you want to be a veterinarian, you want to be an astronaut. I wanted to be an astronaut, but I never once in my life figured I would have to be figuring out the ergonomics of a ray gun. I did think I would have to figure out ray guns, period, because that's kind of like what my perception of astronauts was. You know, ray gun guys. They should have given Buzz Aldrin a ray gun. He would not have used it wisely, but I think we should have done it anyway. Okay, hang on. Oh. Hold on. I think I'm cooking. I'm cooking. Yes, here we go. And then may look a little bayonet for the seam vents. Ooh. Okay, hang on. Okay, okay, we're on to something here with this. I can tell, right? Let's do it more like. Hmm. Oh, actually, hang on. Okay, that rough eraser was way too big. My bad. Also, I can just use the shift key. I keep forgetting about the shift key. Yeah. Another thing that I've been getting into recently is Final Fantasy 16. I don't have a PlayStation, so I haven't been actually playing it. But Nina, my niece, has been streaming the game on her channel, and I've been watching the playthrough of it that way, and it looks really interesting. I'm liking the story a lot so far. Very compelling. Yeah. It's also really good because like I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy, right? In fact, I would describe my understanding of Final Fantasy of pedestrian at best. But Ina has like a lot of knowledge about like Final Fantasy, particularly Final Fantasy 14, which is the MMORPG critically acclaimed, playable for free until like level 60 or whatever the hell, however that whole copy reads. And she knows a lot about the MMO, and there's a lot of references to the MMO in the game, or just kind of like subtle nods, right? It's not outright references; it's more like nods to the MMO. So she's able to pick up on all of those, and I feel like so much more educated when I'm watching it with her. I have like an appreciation for it that I wouldn't otherwise have. That's why it's so cool to have like an expert joining you for if you're reading something or watching something. Mm. There we go. Okay, I'm liking that a fair amount. I'm liking how this is coming together. Although I do think like maybe I should keep it longer. The problem is if I make it too long, it'll look a little bit unwieldy. And again, this is supposed to be like a small sidearm, right? I mean, it's still pretty small. No, no, it isn't. I shouldn't lie to people like that. That's probably more on the level, right? Like, if we grab the original concept art, I think that's about until about, yeah, that almost fits perfectly with the original 1911. Hmm. Wait, I'm a fool. I could have just made this handle part the steam vents, having little buttons across it so that it can, like, shoot out steam. Hmm. 3, 4, 5. 5 seems like a good number. 5 feels like a number that I won't easily forget. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Psh. Okay. Yeah, that feels pretty natural. Okay, so now the actual part of the gun itself, because I feel like not having anything on the side here actually makes the gun look a little naked. But maybe that's okay. Maybe with like some teeth back up here. Yeah, okay. I quite like that. Okay, so now let's design the holster, right? Hang on, where's the dinguses that I pulled up earlier? Here we go. Alright, let's grab this dude real quick. I don't know, does having no kind of like joint back up here make this gun feel a little bit like broken? I don't know, I think it's because of like the sword aesthetic. I just feel like hmm, ain't like that. Mm, no, that feels like a compromise. I could just give it kind of like a similar pattern to Hawk's gun, but then oh, that does look really good actually. What kind of reinforcements can I give here? Circles? Triangles. Triangles? No, that looks lame. How about instead? Hmm, no, that looks bad. Or rather, I don't like how that looks. Hmm. Seriously, I really wish I knew more about ray guns and ray gun design. I could just look one up, but like, I think most of them are supposed to have that little like round nubbin at the end, right? Okay, the first hit is from Call of Duty Zombies, which is as good a place as any to start. Yeah, that one has a little round thing, little round dot at the end. Here's another one. Hmm. What about the Archimedes from Fallout? Hang on. Give me a minute. Medes. USA 113. No, that's not right. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Get them out. Gannon. Oh, Euclid's C Finder. Here we go. That's why I was having some issues finding it. Is it disjointed at the end there? That's kind of funny. Well, it makes sense at least, right? You wouldn't be seeing the business end of this thing too often. Still, that's an idea though, isn't it? Now having it three prongs makes it feel a little bit different. Maybe further up. If we have the gap a little further up. Okay. No. Having it be solid like this is kind of cool though. Maybe like having it have some kind of tuning fork design. Hmm. This reminds me a lot of those rubber band guns you used to see a lot. Hang on. Yeah, one of these things, right? Or this one. Man, that takes me back. We didn't have these when I was a kid, but like I remember seeing them and thinking that they looked pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, I think I might just take this one back to Raph and see what he thinks. But for the time being, I like the general shape of this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and design the holster for it. Okay. The other day, Raph pointed out that the helmets actually make it look a little, make this kind of like pointed tip that I added to it actually makes it look a little bit like a pompadour, which I'm really a fan of. I like that idea. You don't see that many dudes running around with pompadours these days. They became an endangered species somehow. Okay. Let's see. Put this around here. All right, for the time being, let's add the holster to this little metal bar part right here. There we go. Lift this up a little bit too, while I'm at it. Okay, so we want the sword part to be in and out somewhere around. Let's say this vicinity. Hmm. I'm trying to figure out a way that you can still see the handle while keeping the gun part at bay. We could say magnets, right? But that seems like too easy of an answer. Hmm. Don't Japanese police uniforms have like the gun on a? Hang on. Japanese police handgun. Like they have it on like a little rope or something. Yeah, you can see it here. Like you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about right here. They have it on this lanyard thing for some reason. I guess it's so that they can't lose it very easily. Which is kind of a funny thought. But very practical if you think about it, right? Like if you're in a fight and somebody kicks away your gun somehow, right, and you don't want to lose your gun, having it attached to a rope that you can drag back to you is actually quite handy. Oh yeah, you can also see it in this one. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This kind of lanyard thing. Actually, who says that the holster needs to be easily accessed, right? Like we could very well have it be over this. Hang on. Jimmy Neutron I was about to say Blaine Blast. Whenever I feel like I'm about to mix up the word order and something, I should just kind of let it rip. You know, I feel like that would be a much more entertaining sentence. Okay. This also saves me the trouble of having to draw the trigger. Yeah. It does put a little bit of a damper on the. Hang on. On the idea that they'd just be able to like draw it out like you would a normal cavalry sword, but At the same time, I think it gives it a much more distinctive identity if they need to, unholster it like that first. Not to mention, it actually makes more sense for them to have that kind of, button holster style, because if these dudes are fighting out in space or something, you could have them avoid losing their guns that way. Even if they get rocked around, they'll still probably have access to their guns. Okay, yeah, I've justified this to myself. Let's go with this. All right. Yeah, we can do a little bit more work on the actual. Hang on the actual pistol design itself when I have Raph to talk to, but right now this is actually looking pretty tight. They did specify that it was a gun, right? Hang on, I'm gonna check the Google Doc real quick to make sure that I didn't accidentally design a whole gun where. Yeah, no, okay, lifting a pistol, okay. Yeah, all right, I'm happy with this. Let's keep this one. All right. I did say this was going to be a slightly shorter stream, and that is true. I think I'm going to tap out now, just in case. I don't want to try and overwork my gums just yet. So I think that'll do it for today. Thank you all for coming by, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you tomorrow for some character design. Later. Bye.